privacy narrative in general has not, like, we're just waking up to it. It hasn't yet been applied to cars. And cars are horrendous and so much worse than you realize.
Really?
If you have ever read a privacy policy from a brand new car, there are companies, and I'm not even joking.
We're filming your kids in the back seat.
Oh, I wish
we're
that were
gross.
I wish that were the worst of it. Yes, they're filming your kids, but they're literally saying we have permission to track your sexual activity. They have that written into their clauses sometimes. There are companies, so there are companies that have...
Wait a second. Huh?
I'm not joking.
You've actually seen this with your own eyes.
With my own eyes, and Mozilla just put out a report that said they have this great website called Privacy Not Included, where you can look at different apps and see how creepy they are on the creepy scale. And they just put out a report on cars, and we actually just did a deep dive investigation into cars as well.
The United Auto Workers Union is in your bedroom by way of your car.
So it kind of it started out like, if you think of your car, we kind of think about them like, okay, well, they're a vehicle. It's like this private box with wheels that takes me where I want to go. No, your car is a smartphone on wheels. It is a system with hundreds of computers bolted on top, the same way that you have a phone with hundreds of apps on top. And each of those computers is sending data out to countless entities. And how are they sending data? That's a great question. Well, every car has a SIM card in it these days, so they're just sending out all of that data just by having cellular connectivity. And you can remove that, but quite often it will break your car. Or every time you go to the dealership, they're either exfiltrating that data or they're hooking up. It's programmed to literally connect to the SSID that they want it to connect to automatically, and the dealership probably has that SSID, so it's just connecting to the Wi-Fi automatically. Or you're connecting it to your home Wi-Fi, because people do that for some reason, and it's using your home Wi-Fi to send off information. So your car is this data harvesting machine that sees everywhere you travel, sees the people that you meet, is literally taking camera footage, is literally taking microphone audio in the car as well. And so that's just the data collection side. And then we haven't quite yet come to terms with how hackable these systems are. So I'm not just talking about the legitimate ways that we've signed over and said these people get your data. One of my favorite things to do is go to hacker conferences, and I love them, things like DEF CON. And they're also terrifying, so I kind of need to take some anxiety, meditation sessions after something.
Go to a black hat conference with some Valium.
Oh, basically, because there are people who will give a presentation about how they literally just hacked into someone's camera in their car, and then actually through that got access to their home address and find out the entire medical history of this person, got access to their contact list. These cars are so hackable that it's insane, because right now...
Well, they have all these cameras. So you drive into your garage and they've got all these cameras.
They've got all these cameras, so you can literally see when people are home, where they are. Okay. You look at your car app for these modern cars, all the things that you can access, remotely, someone else can access remotely, so they can see your camera, they can get access to all this data. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because there are all of these computers that are sending data they're not getting access to. So like your tire pressure monitors, every car, it was mandated by the government that every car tire has to have this tire pressure monitor on it. And so that's actually pinging out, a certain amount of hertz that people are now collecting as just a tracking tool to see movement of vehicles. And it's like basically what these tire pressure monitors are saying, they're not connected through a wire to this computer. They're sending out this radio signal, and the radio signal is basically saying, I am tire XYZ unique identifier 123, and my current tire pressure is this. So if you're sending out a unique identifier... Why
does the government care about my tire pressure?
For safety. So it was deemed to be safer for a car to be using computers to manage tire pressure. So you get that little beep that says your tire is low, so we don't blow out tires. Also, you got to realize when you're turning a corner these days, you're not the one making that turn. Your car is very smartly, the technology is amazing. Your car is very smartly saying, okay, well, I can tell that this tire has slightly lower pressure. If you take this corner and you're currently going 60 miles per hour, actually that's going to be a bit dangerous. So I'm going to make the turn not as, sharp as you're actually making it. And so your car is actually doing a lot of the driving for you these days. Computers are managing a huge amount that we don't even realize. So yes, there is a safety element there. And then the byproduct of that is so much more surveillance.
What does that have to do with sharing it on wireless broadcast?
So it's just being wirelessly broadcast to your central computers in your car.
Oh, okay.
And so, but that can also be picked up by antennas. And also, like, scarily, I recently went to ShmooCon, which is a conference in DC, and this guy opens up his, like, pelican case of dark materials, and he's got this big antenna. He's like, see this antenna here? I'm like, yes. He's like, and see all of these numbers here? And I'm like, yes. Those numbers are going through this wall and through that wall and through that wall, and this radio is picking up the tire pressure signals from all of the cars passing by. So I can actually keep this as a database, and I've been doing this for a while, so I can actually see, okay, these people I've seen before, these are the areas that I've seen them through. You can just start to map people's locations.
Because it's like every one of these things, if there's enough unique data points, it becomes a kind of fingerprint.
Becomes a fingerprint, exactly. But this is like stuff that I don't think people can worry about right now. We don't have solutions.
I'm gonna file this under.
It's all
gonna be fine.
Terrifying, but
I'm gonna walk the dog in the morning and not think about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say the best thing you can do, let's just start the conversation. When you go to buy a car, just ask your dealership, hey, can you show me the privacy policy? Hey, can I opt out of any of this? Can I choose not to have remote start, or whatever, because I see that's a feature that you're now selling to see every time I start my engine. Just have a conversation, because the more we normalize these conversations, the more our society is going to start to prioritize privacy.
If you like this clip, we've got more where that came from. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our new videos as they come out each week.